Confident course correction. One of the many beautiful burdens of life is the notion of choice. Being able to decide what path you take can be both freeing yet daunting. The journey is what it is because of the choices you make. Whether it's your reaction to a situation, your actions leading to a potential solution to a situation, or simply just where to go from here. Our choices help influence our course in life. As we all know, sometimes we have little control over where life takes us. However, a lot of us are blessed with the opportunity to do a little course correction. Redirecting our attention to a more prosperous position on the trail, and know that with intention and effort, we can make it to our destination of choice. Being apprehensive about adjusting course is natural. Like everything else, you don't have to make such a great change all at one time. Finding the confidence in yourself to make a small, impactful adjustment here and there will eventually lead to a big change. When adjusting, be mindful of your pivot point. Be intentional with your effort, and finally, stay the course. Pivot point. There will come a time when you feel you need to make a change, or life pushes you towards one. This is your pivot point, the place from where your redirection begins. Whether it's a negative that you're looking to turn into a positive, whether you're trying to shake off the feeling of complacency, or you just simply desire a change. Take some time and make sure you establish a healthy level of confidence in yourself. Understand that other people's opinions can be constructive and helpful, but that final decision comes from within, so it's best to get acquainted with yourself. Know that although change can be difficult, you have the potential to accomplish it and then some. Be confident in your ability, and if you aren't, try learning something new. Be confident in your knowledge, and if not, educate yourself. Finally, be confident in your decisions, and should you struggle with that, pray. My point is that should you believe there is a place of lack, then do what you have to do to render it inconsequential. I said it once, and I'll say it 1,000,000 times. You got this. Intentional effort. Once you make a move and pivot to an alternative solution, you must follow it up with intentional effort. This simply means that your momentum forward has purpose and your actions have meaning. Everything you do pertaining to your journey should be focused and dedicated. Should your journey call for you to lean, then lean. Should you need to take a break, then stop. And should you need assistance, do your best to find some appropriate to the situation at hand. The point is that you are not just acting impulsively. Always strive to give yourself the same level of commitment and care as you would anybody else. You are worth it in every way, and being intentional with your effort will take you to heights you never thought you would reach. Stay the course. After you make a pivot and start being intentional with your efforts, now comes the hardest part. You have to stay the course. I label this the hard part because as people, sometimes our motivation and drive are more fragile than we would like. Distractions, doubt, and distance all play a big part in getting us off course. Should you find yourself feeling distracted by life's many challenges, remind yourself what you are walking towards. The reward at the end of your journey is greater than any setback life can dish out. You just have to acknowledge that. Should you find yourself consumed by doubt, remind yourself of past successes. Remember, hurdles are not merely obstacles, but instruments to increase our elevation. And should you find yourself worried about how far away the finish line is, set up checkpoints. What I refer to is look for short-term goals that you can accomplish that will ultimately bring that finish line closer and closer. Break up the big picture into smaller canvas that you can work with until the complete masterpiece is achieved. Always remember to pace yourself. This is not a race, And although we walk side by side, our goals are in different places. So it's best to keep your mind focused on your journey and remember to stay the course. So in closing, the road so far has been a turbulent one, so you decide it's time to make a change. Know that your choices mold your journey like artists to clay. So when it's time for a little course correction, acknowledge your pivot point, as this is where you will restart from. Next, be intentional with your effort by doing things with purpose on purpose. And finally, do your best to stay the course by avoiding distractions, doubt, and concerns of the distance between you and the goal. Remember that when dark times arise, sometimes you must use your heart and not your eyes to navigate the darkness. Now, go forward and be blessed. You got this.